Hey there! Welcome to the Flute 360 podcast. I'm Dr. Heidi Kay Begay, and I'm passionate about helping you flourish as a flutist. Whether it's personal growth, artistic mastery, or business success, Flute 360 is your one-stop flute studio. I started this podcast because, like you, I noticed there was a lot I didn't learn in school, and I'm here to fill in those gaps. Let's work together to find your voice and make sure it's heard loud and clear, both on and off the stage. That's the essence of Flute 360. Everything you need, all in one place. Today's episode number 298, is titled Minds Aligned: How Your Closest Connections Define Your Success. Are you feeling lost, struggling to get into music school, or not sure how to make music your career again? It's tough, especially when you don't have the support you need. But you're not alone. The Flute 360 Studio offers one-on-one coaching, private flute lessons that's all about you, your goals, your voice, and your journey. With only 4 private spots left and a deadline of September 1st, 2024, now is the time to find the support you deserve. Let's work together to make your flute journey a success. Email me at heidikaybegay@gmail.com or visit my website at heidikaybegay.com. The links are in the show notes below. Thanks! Hey there, Flute 360er. I hope you are doing well, and I hope that you are super pumped up for this upcoming weekend. What are your plans? What's on the docket? I would love to hear from you. Today's episode is going to focus on this little nugget that I have mentioned in the past, but I never really unpacked it before. And that is that you are the summation of the 5 people you hang out with. I don't know if you know the resource or reference to this gem, but it actually comes from an American entrepreneur, author, and motivational speaker, and his name is Jim Rohn. So he's really known for his teachings on personal development and success, and this idea, the phrase, "you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with," is accredited to him. Now, I've mentioned this nugget in the past, but I never really have dug deep and unpacked it before. But today, I want to do just that with you. And like I said earlier, Jim is this motivational speaker, and this idea is one of his most famous concepts, emphasizing the influence of one's close social circle on their habits, mindset, and overall success. This is imperative for your success. If you want to be successful, you have to be extremely intentional on who you let into your inner circle. And the reason why this is so vitally important is because how these 5 people rub off on you is so evident. If they are negative, toxic people, guess what? Over time, without you meaning to, you could easily start becoming a negative and toxic person. But if these 5 people who you are very intentional and strategic with who you let into your inner circle, if these people are positive, powerful, confident, successful people, then guess what? Their mojo, their energy is going to start rubbing off on you. And the reason why this works is because their successes, their victories become normalized in your own mind. And this concept of you are the summation of the 5 people in your orbit was something that was always evident to me. I knew this, but I had a huge aha moment with Eric as we were entering and exiting the NFA 2024 convention. Case in point, this is where our aha moment came from, and it was specifically the exhibitor hall. As you know, if you were a participant in San Antonio, you know that Flute 360 co-exhibited with another friend and another business owner, Wind Defender, in the hall. The reason why I did this is because NFA was so gracious to offer small businesses a small discount for co-exhibiting together. So I ended up pairing with Christine Cleary and Nathan Mark Dooley through the Wind Defender company. So when Christine asked me, hey, do you want to do this? Do you want to co-exhibit? We would love to do this with you. It was a no-brainer. I didn't think twice about it. I went into the booth, set it up, we shared a table, half and half, and it was excellent. I got to hang out with my friends, it was cost effective, and I got to meet a lot of great people along the way. And this actually was a total God thing. Before the convention even started, on the first day of Thursday morning, I remember talking and personally sharing some things with Christine and Dooley, and that conversation is between the three of us. But the conversation segued into me telling them and expressing and observing how neat it was to actually co-exhibit together to see how our paths have unfolded since 2009 all the way up to 2024. What I mean by that is one of the very first families that ever took me under their wing when Eric and I moved into Fort Worth, Texas in 2009 were the Dooleys. It was specifically Christine Cleary, who is an amazing Fort Worth flute instructor in the area. I synced up into the Fort Worth area and got plugged into the Texas Flute Society. So if you're on the board of TFS, shout out to you. And those members and those board members ended up becoming a really close-knit flute family for me. I just finished my master's degree. I was starting to expand my network and expand my flute studio. I didn't know the first thing about studio building. This is something that was not taught to me in school as I was pursuing flute performance degrees. Now, life is a good teacher. I am so glad that I actually was thrown into the weeds to figure out how to recruit students, how to network with band directors, and the like. But boy, oh boy, was there a learning curve. So I say all that because as I was attending Saturday TFS meetings and offering my expertise and help through the board, through Texas Flute Society, I became friends with Christine Cleary. And she was so gracious to bring me under her wing, nurture that relationship, and help me to learn about studio building and the like. Not only Christine, but people like Tara Richter and Mary Sanchez, wonderful flute instructors in the Fort Worth area, we all supported each other in a certain way. Whether it was getting lunch or coffee dates or helping each other with our overflow. Like if we had certain students on our wait list that we could not accommodate, we would pass those students off to our flute instructor friends. We wanted to support each other in that way. So from 2009 to 2015, I had a studio the size of 50 to 60 flutists. Yes, 50 to 60 students for 6 years. Now, I give all credit to God, Clara Richter, Christine Cleary, Tara, Mary, and the amazing band directors out there. Of course, I had to do the work. But I would not be in that position if I did not have amazing people in my orbit to network with and to actually build genuine relationships with. So full circle back to Christine. The reason why you need to know all of those blessings and my story within those 6 years is monumental. If she was not in my orbit, I would not have learned all the things that I just described within those 6 years. So fast forward to 2024 at NFA, as we are co-exhibitors together, it was a real full circle moment for me. Now, I know I say full circle a lot because the whole essence of Flute 360, right? But it really was a full circle moment for me. Here, I am co-exhibiting next to 2 entrepreneurs who have designed this amazing flute tool, flute gadget, the Wind Defender. And these were my people. These were my folks. These were my friends at the very beginning of my flute career. And here we are 15 years later, co-exhibiting and presenting and representing our 2 businesses, Flute 360 and Wind Defender, side by side. We could have never pictured that or imagined that possibility or reality 15 years ago. But here we are. So because of that relationship, I wasn't planning on this, but just hearing me describe this relationship and how it unfolded in different capacities, there's many layers to this. But there's actually 2 full circle moments for me here. Having Christine in my life from 09 to 15 shaped me in that season to start thinking entrepreneurially. She started planting baby seeds into my mind as a young 23-year-old on recruitment, studio building, organization, taxes. Now, she wasn't schooling me, like sitting me down like a traditional teacher and saying, step 1, step 2, step 3. No, it was me being thrown into the deep end of life and figuring out how to build my own career, watching her, mingling with her, talking with her, picking her brain between flute lessons. It was kind of hodgepodgey, but it worked. Just being around her and people like her really started rubbing off on me, on young 23-year-old Heidi, to start realizing and making strides to building my flute studio. So back then, 15 years ago, I could clearly see how having the Christines, Tara's, Mary's, Clara's in my life, they were my 5 people. They were my 5 people in my innermost orbit. And these women were making a huge impression and impact on my life. Now you fast forward, and here we are, Christine and Heidi being the CEOs, including Dooley, the CEOs of Wind Defender and Flute 360. We are co-exhibiting at the same table. Guess what? That's where my aha moment was, oh my gosh, even before Flute 360 was a business, even before Wind Defender was a business, we, the 3 of us, plus our friends, we were already starting to think entrepreneurially together. And that has rubbed off on us in very positive, powerful ways, which has transcended 15 years, fast forward in time, to 2 LLCs or S Corps being established. Do you see that? Is that not amazing? So that's what I want for you. Be extremely intentional and strategic of who you let into your inner circle. Now, this isn't to say that you cannot make friends with people who are on a different part of their path or journey. Please be friendly. Please be warm. Please be inviting and welcoming. But as you grow as this flutepreneur, as this flute performer, as this flute teacher, who you mingle with, who you network with is crucial to the growth of your success. And the funny thing is, I don't think anyone would mind me sharing this because I'm not really throwing anyone under the bus. But even hearing the conversations at the booth, a lot of times some, listeners or customers of either company, they would say, oh, like, of course, Wind Defender and Flute 360 are co-exhibiting together because Heidi had Dooley on her show in 2 separate episodes, which, by the way, they are episodes 40 and 209 if you want more information on Wind Defender, Dooley, and Clem Kwok. So anyways, I digress. But they were like, oh, well, yeah, because Heidi's the host and Dooley came on as a guest, including Clem. Of course you guys are co-exhibiting together. That makes sense. And I remember so many times just in passing, I was kind of like a birdie on the wall or a fly on the wall, hearing Dooley tell these customers, no, like the way they painted it, the way that they were framing it, it almost seemed like we were kind of like being with who's who. And Dooley was like, no, I knew Heidi way before 360. We were friends way before Wind Defender and 360 were even a thing. That right there showed me that this nugget of you really are the summation of the 5 people who you hang out with is really true. Before LLCs were established, before EIN numbers were given, before all of this, we were starting together. They were probably, let's face it, they were probably definitely a few steps ahead of me because they're a little bit older. But we were starting, air quote, on the same level, on the same plane 15 years ago. So I want this for you, okay? And as you think about this new academic year moving forward in 24-25, who are the 5 people you hang out with? Are they influential? Where's their mindset? Are they positive thinkers and doers? And not just people who talk the talk, but I want to take it one step further. I want you to associate yourself with and surround yourself with people who are not just talking the talk, but actually walking the walk. There is a huge difference, trust you me. There's a huge difference between people who sit and daydream and think about doing the thing versus people who are actually doing the thing. You know what I mean? Because taking action and doing the thing takes courage. It takes guts. It takes a different level of commitment to achieving that goal when you actually start swinging the bat over and over and over again. Because by swinging the bat over and over and over again, you will hurt in the shoulders. Your back's going to ache. You're going to get sweaty. You may even get splinters in your hands. But you're showing up. You're taking action. And those are the people who I want you to surround yourself with. And the reason why this works is because their mindset, their actions, and their successes start becoming your own. Their dialogue, their mindset starts rubbing off on you, whether you like it or not. Words have power. They have weight. And so if you are constantly hearing somebody who's toxic and negative talk about, oh, air quote, we don't have enough. We don't have money for that. I can't play the repertoire and that technical passage that fast. That's too hard. If they are constantly in a space of negativity and not being creative and curious about the situation, they are tapped out. They are not in a growth mindset place. We want to flip the script. We want to be around people who say, yes, we don't have that now, but what if we were to implement XYZ? People who are curious, people who are taking action, people who are actually doing the thing, okay? Now, if you are hearing all of this and you're like, that's great, but what do I do? Like, how do I actually implement this? Start a mastermind. That's one really good nugget that I can offer you today. If you start a mastermind of people who are in the same space as you, let's get creative here. Let's get off the page. Say you want to be an orchestral flutist. Well, start an orchestral flutist mastermind. Meet once a month with 4 other people who want to be full-time tenure track flutists of a symphony orchestra. Then you guys can motivate, inspire, and keep each other accountable on audition rep, the audition schedule, keeping each other encouraged during valley moments. If you are listening to them in their process of how they are going about Berlioz, Tchaikovsky, Mozart excerpts, and you get into their energy and you get into their mindset of how they are approaching the audition process. People, again, who are walking the walk and doing the thing, they are investing into themselves. They are showing up for themselves in the practice room. They are getting additional coaching through, other master classes and summer events. Their mindset, dialogue, actions are going to start rubbing off on you in no time at all. But my disclaimer is, you can do this all day long, but you actually have to show up and do the work yourself. But you already know that. Or let's say you want to start a flute studio, like I painted the picture of young Heidi back in 2009. Surround yourself with other flute studio instructors. Join Dr. Catherine Eminence's studio building course. Join Flute 360's Accelerator Program. Surround yourself with people who really are going to do the thing. And their dialogue about networking, making business cards, flyers, putting QR codes out there, giving and offering free flute masterclasses, flute trial lessons, workshops, networking with band directors. The list goes on and on. You get the gist. That dialogue will start becoming your own. And then you will realize, oh, wow, I am doing a lot of the similar things like Jane is, flyers, business cards, networking. Ooh, but she mentioned Facebook mommy groups. I hadn't thought of that before. Maybe I should try out that arena. They will start rubbing off on you, and their success will become your success story. So I don't care if your main priority is to beef up your flute performing gig schedule, your flute studio, your playing, going back to school, start a mastermind and include 4 to 5 people who are on the same path and on the same trajectory towards that targeted goal. Trust me, your future self will thank you later. And lastly, the more I have been thinking about this topic to purge and binge in episode 298 with you today, I would be remiss not to mention the awesome, amazing people in our Flute 360 Accelerator Program. These participants are rubbing off on each other. They are networking with each other, and their success stories are starting to become their own because they have intentionally decided to show up and decide, I want the 5 people in my inner orbit to look like XYZ because I want to hit that target for my flute business, my flute playing, and my overall health. So not only are the Accelerator Program participants rubbing off on each other, but, and I'm saying this very humbly and modestly, a lot of the pre-professionals and professionals in the group are starting to mirror what I have done through 360 and making it their own choice for their own path. I am seeing exceptional women and men pivot from toxic jobs into their own flute business. I am seeing participants say, ooh, 360 made a course. Ooh, 360 made a program. And they are getting excited for their own products, services, and offerings. What's happening is they are realizing, if Heidi can do it, I can do it. If Peter did it, I can do it. If Sarah did it, I can do it. And that energy and being in sync and having that synergy with participants and me and the guests that I bring into the group now becomes their own success story. They are actually believing in themselves that much more, and they are normalizing these wins. They are saying, I didn't think I could, put out my own flute course, but if Jane or Joe can do it, I can do it too. I didn't think that I could start my own flute business up, but because she's doing it, I can do it too. You're giving them courage. Not only are you giving other people permission to show up for themselves, you are encouraging them to have courage to obtain the things that they want out from life. The reason why this is so important is because you are ultimately in control of how you program your mind. If there is not one thing that I have learned from the 2 years of going through rehab and stabilizing my neck and becoming stronger and getting out of that hellhole, I'll just say it, out of that hellhole, I have learned this, and that is your mind is so extremely powerful. What you see, what you listen to, what you consume really dictates the program that you are putting together for your mind and for your body and for your success. One element, a huge element to that formula, to that programming, is the 5 people that you associate with, the 5 people in your innermost circle. They will influence you and determine and help determine whether or not you are successful. So you can't control this, okay? Your mind is this beautiful working machine. Program it well. I hope that this episode has given you some food for thought. I think of you often, I pray for you often, and I just hope that you are killing it. If you're not, if you feel like something's missing in your link, in your programming, and in your success story, I am always here for you, okay? I promise. I am always here for you. Have a blessed day, friend, and until next time. Thanks for joining me on today's episode of Flute 360. I'm excited to share that for the rest of August 2024, you can get a free trial of our Flute 360 Accelerator Program. This is your only chance this year to tap into our incredible community, explore 25 plus videos, and learn from special fall guests like Dr. Catherine Eminent, Jolene Madewell, Dr. Danette Derby McDermott, Corey Barger, and Daniel Velasco. Whether you're looking for support in your playing, business, or personal growth, we've got you covered. This offer is available until September 1st, 2024. Don't miss out. Let's talk about flute.